Better hurry, spark it up with no worries. Harmonious gang with the big bro Yuriy. Hyphy, get lit just like me. Big bossed up, chop it up with Rylee. You better come with it to kick rocks, cause you now tuned in to 10 Talks. Now let's get lifted and take a shot. You are now tuned in to 10 Talks.
You gonna have to use my chaser?
Yes.
What's up, guys?
What's up, everybody?
Cheers to everyone listening. Thank you guys so much for joining another episode of 10 Talks. Appreciate everyone so much. Just 1 second, guys. We're going to take this shot and get right into it. All right. Cheers, guys. We have to share a chaser. That's why
we're
it's taking a
early
little bit
today.
Longer. Are we?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
We were 1 minute early. So.
We were supposed to start at 6 p.m. like always.
Yes.
But I didn't even think I woke up this late. But for everyone that was watching yesterday, Rylee and I and Vell and Brittany, we did the stream where Vell teaches me how to fry chicken, which he brought up this idea a long time ago, and I've been saying like, yeah, I'm down. We just had to find time to do it. Yesterday we finally found time, and we started very late, so we were frying chicken all night basically, yeah. And so we didn't go to sleep until maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning.
No, like 3 almost.
Yeah, probably like 3 in the morning, and then I don't know what time you woke up, but today when I woke up in the morning, like I woke up and I really had a thought of like, yes, good nice night's sleep. Like it feels like it's 10, 11 in the morning. Like I should have a good start to the day. I take my phone, look at it, and it's 2 p.m. And I was like, what the crap? I've been sleeping for hella long, dude. And I was like, why didn't you wake me up any earlier?
We were so tired. I'm still like exhausted right now.
Same.
I just feel drained. Like this whole week was like
long.
Stacked with shit.
Oh yeah.
So it was super busy and
but that's
and
the
then
reason.
and then yesterday we just like had a long ass night, but it was so fun and it was worth it. But no, I didn't wake up till like 11:30, which is late for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to wrap all these Christmas presents. So
I know I woke up to Rylee wrapping Christmas presents, but you didn't think to wake me up by 1 p.m.
because I knew how tired I was. I was not trying to wake you up.
At least by 1 p.m. you should be like, all right, that's too far. You should wake up. I woke up at 2.
I was still wrapping them.
Yeah, I feel that. But anyway, so that is the reason why we were starting at 7 p.m. today instead of 6, an hour later. But we did start at 6:59, so I guess we are kind of early to being late. But yeah, that's why we started late today. We had to clean up the house and just recover, basically, and get some energy for the podcast and, to do other stuff. But either way, shout out to everyone watching this. I appreciate you guys so much. And shout out to everyone watching the stream last night. It was a lot of fun.
It was so much
Vell
fun.
fell asleep.
In like 2 seconds.
So quickly. I thought the chat was trolling. I saw the chat saying, I hear him snoring already. And I thought that, that people were just making jokes. But then I got close and I heard him snoring. I was like, damn, he really is snoring hella quick. Like,
no, me and Brittany were just talking in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I just hear this crazy ass noise. I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "That's Vell." I was dying. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I'm jealous of that ability of just being so drunk or just tired that you just immediately into a nice perfect slumber. And like I feel like when I get super fucked up, it's harder to go to sleep because I'm like, oh, now I don't feel good. I feel sick, like I drank too much, or like it just, I don't know, like drinking and falling asleep doesn't for me. Yeah, it's rare that I'm just like so drunk that I just knock out. But Vell was out in a second after he laid down.
No, I could pass out, but then I'll like wake up at like 3 in the morning with my stomach hurting so bad, and I'm just yakking till like until 9 a.m. and then I'll like sleep till like 11.
It's so true.
It sucks.
It's so true that when Rylee and I first got together, and sometimes we have those nights where you drink too much and someone's throwing up, and honestly, it's rare for me to throw up. Rylee is like more likely to get too sick than I am. But
more rare for me.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Yeah, you have been doing better or drinking less, I guess. Yeah. But either way, I remember a long time ago. When Rylee would get sick sometimes, it happened like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I would hear her throwing up. I would wake up and hold her hair and help her and grab water and do all this stuff. And then I realized, like, for me, when I go throw up, it's like I have to throw up. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes max. And then, like, I can't just be sitting there throwing up the whole time. So I'm like, at a certain point, I'm like, all right, that's enough. I'll figure out another way to sober up. Like, that's all the puking I can do. But Rylee will hover over the toilet for hours throwing up, and I'm like, at a certain point, after a couple times of helping out Rylee for a couple hours of just holding her hair there, like sleepy as hell, 4 in the morning.
You only did it once.
I realized I'm like, no, there's no helping here. I was like, she's gonna be here all night. Like, tie up your hair at that point. Like, I can't just be standing there.
No, I told you. He did it one night, and I was like, you could just stop, because I'm just gonna keep coming back.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, for me, it feels nasty to throw up. So so I want to make it like a short period of time where I'm just like, what? And then I just forget about it. I'm done. But for you, you're just like, you just want. It's like it feels like you like the feeling of throwing up.
No, here's my thing. You know in your stomach when you're gonna throw up, right? Like, you have a feeling like, I need to throw up right now.
Yeah.
After I throw up, when I'm drinking for a long time in the night, and I get sick in the middle of the night, I'll throw up for a minute. And I'll be fine for a second, and then all of a sudden I'll have that feeling like you have to throw up again. Like, it's just continuous. I don't know. It's just if it's just my kind of stomach, but like, that's just how I am.
Well, I feel like you have to understand that your stomach is not that large. Like, at a certain point, you're just dry heaving. And you do that for a long time. And I'm just like, dude, just go to sleep.
It works, though.
At this point, like, I don't even care because I'm, like, used to it. But sometimes when it does happen, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just rare. But when it does happen, I think, like, what do the neighbors think of this? It's like 5 in the morning. You just hear, what?
No,
what?
my mom used to hate it. She's like, why do you scream in the toilet?
Yeah, you're screaming at the toilet like, bro. And I'm just like, dude, it's 4 in the morning. It's echoes in the bathroom, dude. You're screaming so loud.
I have to, like, scream it out.
But either way,
I just have to.
That's why we're late today.
I did not throw up.
Oh yes, neither did I. But I felt like I slept pretty well. Like, I woke up and I felt fine. I woke up, took a shower, and I felt like rejuvenated. I felt great. And then Rylee the whole day was just like, I feel out of it. I'm so sick and tired.
I just felt so druggy, like so cloudy.
Well, it's because you woke up too early. You should have slept in. You would have felt better.
I had to get those presents done.
Can I say about the frying chicken stream? That shit requires hella oil. It takes up hella oil. And I was just watching this whole video about oil the other day. I was talking to Vell about it, how there's a lot of oils that are just very bad for you. And it's like, I've seen a couple videos about this where people are like, it's not a little bad for you. They're like, you should not even be eating this at all. It's like, this is the main cause of like a heart disease and cancer and inflammation and like, extra weight and all that stuff. And it's pretty funny because for a long time people were blaming it on butter and cholesterol and those types of fats, but now that's been disproven. It looks like the main thing people are focusing on is like, dude, it's these peanut oils and all these different oils and shit. But to use the expensive oil to fry is expensive as shit. Like, how much is the thing of avocado oil? It's like $20-$30 bucks for a tiny skinny bottle. And you need like 2 of those to fry chicken. It's like, bro, that's $40 just to fry some chicken.
No, you don't need that much.
Look how much oil we have downstairs. It's still sitting in the pan.
I know. Well, that was kind of like a ridiculous amount. Like, you could honestly you don't have to put hella oil. You could just fry both sides.
Oh, okay.
Evenly.
No, but it has to be drenched, I feel like. I don't know. I thought the chicken was pretty good. Rylee said it wasn't that great. Thanks, by the way.
Really?
You did.
I think it was just because I should have fried it a little longer, like to give it that extra crunch.
Yeah.
But I told Yuriy, I was like, I think we're just too drunk, and I was just like trying to speed up the process.
No, yeah, I feel like we're all a little bit too late. I felt bad
because I felt like they weren't really fucking with it either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We have to ask them. Like, did they even like the food that I fried the first plate? You fried all the other 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, did anyone fuck with the food though? It sounds like we really didn't. But either way, I think that will be the last time I fry chicken. I'm not a big fan.
I love it.
Really?
I love fried chicken.
I don't know.
But
like,
it is horrible for you.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like, the idea of that shit just like completely submerged in that oil, and then once you take it out, you dap it down or let it drip off. But it's like fully drenched in the meat. You know what I mean? This fucking oil, and it just like, with all the information I've been learning about oil, I'm just like, bro, like unless you're using some expensive oil, that shit's probably really bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck that. Also too much work. I just hate cooking, dude. I wish there was... And also with this whole oil talk, I was talking about this with Rylee earlier. It's like I'm stuck in this weird thing where I'm like, I want to eat healthier. I want to like, be more aware of the things that I put in my body. But I'm also constantly on a time crunch, and I'm constantly like looking for convenience and trying to do stuff quickly. I'm sure all of us are, right? and that means like, you know, fast food, but you can't go to fast food, and there really is no way to get a nice healthy meal on the go other than just making food at home, which you got to clean it up, do all this shit that adds, you know, extra 20-30 minutes to the getting food process. Like,
that's why HelloFresh was fire. we honestly did save hella money, dude, because we were cooking at home like 4 nights a week, where it was like we have to cook this food, and it was like all fresh.
But then you revealed the price. It was like $70.
But look at, when we go to the grocery store once a week, I'm spending at least $200.
No, not every time.
Yes. Right now with all these prices, yes, easily. And we waste a lot of the food because we don't eat it fast enough.
Well, you don't like eating leftovers.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not.
And we always have leftovers.
I eat the leftovers. No, we can have pasta in the fridge, and you will not touch it.
You'll never touch it.
I eat it.
I eat it too.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. No, but sometimes we'll have leftovers, and you'll be like, "All right, we're cooking this today," and I'm like, "But we still got."
No,
you know,
I do that now. Especially now.
Honestly, I'm willing to switch to just like, you know, buying a 50-pound bag of white rice, and we cook that for a month.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, whatever.
Is that too crazy?
Yeah.
Too much?
You're on your Avatar shit.
Oh my god, I know, for real. Speaking of which, we officially have passed the halfway mark of the Avatar series, and I think, you know, it's getting good at this point. What do you think? Are you enjoying it more?
Yeah, I think it is getting good.
It's still hard for like, I keep trying to compare it to like Game of Thrones in my head, where as we're watching Game of Thrones, if you were turning to me every second going, "Do you know what family that is? You know whose son that is that left there?" And I would be like, "Fuck, I don't know, but I kind of know what's going on." You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the shoes that you're in, where like
literally
you kind of know what's going on, but you don't know exactly everyone's fucking name and shit that, you know, they're attached to.
I'm glad you're finally figuring this out, because I hate when it's a pop quiz.
I don't do no pop quizzes to you anymore. I
tell Yuri all the time he needs to just start a reaction channel, because like he is the king of, we'll watch hella videos and he'll pause it every 30 seconds, like stop and talk about something they're talking about. And even when his sister came to town and he was doing that, and she was just like, "Yuri, can we just watch the fucking video?" And I was like, oh my god, finally somebody agrees with
that
me.
Was funny. My sister was just like, "Yuri, can we just watch the fucking video?"
I like it though too, because it is like, it keeps you like engaged with what you're actually like watching, you know, like you have to kind of understand it more.
Well, I think with me it's like when I'm listening to someone talk, or like, you know, or watching a video or whatever, every little piece of information to me, I'm like trying to process and understand. There's no part of which where I'm trying to like just casually listen and be like, okay, you know, I heard words. It's like everything that I hear, I'm like, I want to know what they're saying and what they mean and what they're trying to convey, right? So that's why, like, when watching Phil DeFranco or whatever, like 10 seconds pass by, I'm like pausing and like, funny how he says this because blah blah blah. Then I'll just go off on a giant rant.
All right, no, that's the shit that doesn't bug me. Okay. Like when you're like actually just talking about it. But what you do sometimes is you'll be like, he's he's about to talk about what this is all about, blah blah blah, and you give me the full description, exactly what they're about to say in the video, because you had already watched the video, and then you tell me it, and then you play the video and they say the same exact thing. I'm just like, you could have just
oh my god video. Okay, whatever. Yo, speaking of Phil DeFranco, that new guy he has added in the beginning of his videos that raps all the news, that shit sucks, dude. And honestly, usually I would not complain, because usually if I'm watching the video, I can just easily skip through and it doesn't bother my day, right? You know what happened to me today is I hopped in the shower in the morning, I put on that Phil DeFranco video, right?
You chose violence.
And I fucking I put the phone on full blast, and I put it up on this one thing where we always put our phones, and I start taking a shower, and then like 30 seconds in, Phil DeFranco's like, "All right, here comes this one dude who does the freestyles about the topics, and here he goes, like, you know, come on in." And then he starts freestyling, and I'm like, oh no, and my hands are all wet, covered in soap and shit, and I'm like, I can't pause or skip. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna deal with it, right? Bro, a minute passes by.
Whole shower.
A minute passes by, he keeps going. Another minute passes by. He switches flows, does this other thing, keeps rapping about Elon Musk and all this liberal shit. And I'm just slapping my forehead in the shower, just like, God, please make this stop. And it doesn't stop. And at a certain point, I'm like, fuck this. I don't care if my phone gets wet. I just grabbed my phone with a soapy wet hand. I just was like desperately fucking skipping through it. And then after I took the shower and I finished, I had to leave a comment. I was like, I think it's like the only time I've ever commented on a Phil DeFranco video. I was like, bro, please get rid of the guy in the beginning. That shit is so bad. The point of the news, of the Phil DeFranco news, and honestly to this day, like Mooseman and a lot of people are like, Yuriy, I'm surprised you even watch that shit. It's like, there's no one else, dude. There's no one else who does YouTube news recaps. And like, yes, he does a pretty good job at it. And it's annoying to me how he constantly involves his like personal political bias, even though he tries to portray it as an open conversation. And you could think whatever you want and it's fine. It's like, no, he will shame you and make fun of you and like, find little ways, sneak remarks about his audience who don't go with his political views. It's pretty like cringy and like annoying to me, but it's like there's no one else who does that shit. Like there was Def Noodles, and I was planning on getting into Def Noodles, but he got canceled. So it's like I'm like, all right, fuck that, I'm not gonna watch.
Why did he get canceled?
Because he I forgot. It gets deep, dude. There's like so many other things, but the main thing I saw, which I'm sure it gets deeper than this, because the thing that I saw, which you're not gonna stop watching someone over this and cancel someone over this, that to that extreme, but apparently I saw some video where he's a stand-up comedian and he's doing a stand-up show, and someone came up on the stage and they were making jokes about him, and he's like, get the fuck off my stage, like blah blah, like he was just hella rude to some heckler, and I'm just like, I don't know, I forgot what it was, but I think more stuff started coming out where he's just like an asshole or something like that.
Gotcha. Just
a terrible person.
No, but it was hella funny because before like we start the show, Yuri was like, oh, did you watch Philly D? And I was like, I was starting to watch it, whatever, and so we like replayed it again, and then Philly D's just like, our new segment might as well just be a correspondent at this point, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I just screamed, oh my god, because Yuri's in the bathroom. I was like, this fool is so annoying, bro. And Yuri's like, who? And I was like, this guy on Philly D. And he's like, did you see my comment? I was like, oh no, what did you say? He's like, just go scroll down, and I just started fucking laughing. I was like, oh my god, of course. I was like, you're one of them.
What what's funny is remember a long time ago, actually a couple episodes ago in 10 Talks, we were talking about DJ Vlad's new interviewer host person, right? That girl, I don't know who her name was, but we were talking about how like it I can't put my finger on it, but it didn't come off like enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way I could put it, is like for some reason it doesn't, like, it just feels disingenuous. It doesn't feel like actual, with DJ Vlad, it always seemed like no matter who it was, they had some sort of cordialness to them, where it was actually a conversation between two human beings. With her, it felt very scripted and like corporate and weird. It felt like
she was just kind of like disassociated.
Yeah,
like,
it was exactly. There almost. That's what it felt, very disassociated. And she could be asking you about some traumatic, crazy shit, and her voice sounds like with no sympathy, no type of like emotion. You're just like, weird to ask that question in such a way, But anyways, I remember we were kind of like saying like we didn't enjoy it, and then you saw how DJ Vlad like fired her in this crazy ass manner. I was like, that's that was pretty interesting. You don't really see something like that happen.
How did he fire her?
He put out on YouTube, there's a community tab where it's kind of like a Twitter or Instagram where you could write stuff and put pictures, and he put a post saying he said just fired, or he's like, we've separated ways from Shirley or whatever her name was. He's like, apologies to all the interviews she's ruined in the past years.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he said some fucked up crazy shit.
Wow.
Where I was like, damn. I was like, I wonder how it must have not ended well at all,
Imagine he listened to our 10 Talks talking about that.
No, hell no. Did you see the comments? After he had fired her, I saw like
everybody was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, after he had fired her, I saw people in the comments saying like, LOL, if you look through the comments section of all the interviews she has done, most of the comments are like in protest of her. And then I was like, damn, is this true? And I went to DJ Vlad's channel. I looked at all the interviews, like 4 or 5 interviews that she did, and a lot of the comments were just like hating on her very badly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure DJ Vlad didn't just, read the comments and go like, fuck you, get out of here. It might have been the thing where he was like, hey man, or women, he's like, hey, it looks like
hey girl,
looks like things aren't working out so well, like we gotta separate ways. And maybe she was like, fuck you, like you're fucking me over. And then he was like, whoa, he was like, all right, you want to be like that, boom, 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 community tab.
Yeah, like why would he say it like that? There must have been some drama.
Exactly, some behind the scenes friction or drama. But either way, yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was crazy.
Okay, I have like a couple topics written here. We don't have many topics today, but we have a lot to talk about. But anyways, there's this one dude named Grant Cardone, and there is a reason why I want to talk about this topic. And I you might have seen a video or a photo of this guy before, and a lot of the chat might not recognize the name immediately, but DJ Vlad has interviewed him many times, and he's kind of like a financial expert, and he's known for doing seminars where he's teaching people about money and how to become successful and a millionaire and all this stuff. And he has one of the main reasons, not main reasons, but one reason why he's also pretty popular is that dude Wolf of Wall Street, the real guy.
Jordan Buffett,
Buffett, whatever. He's still alive to this day doing financial shit, and he has Grant Cardone like hates him, has hella beef with them. They're always like talking shit to one another, and it's like that whole thing's kind of interesting too. But either way, Grant Cardone went viral the other day because he was doing one of his seminars, talking to an audience of guys, telling them how to make money and how to be successful and all this stuff. And then he says verbatim, he's like, any guys out there? Well, he says, he's like, if I was making $400,000 a year, he's like, I would be ashamed as a man and as a husband and as a father. He's like, basically, if you're not making 400K, he said, if you're making 400K a year, you should be ashamed as a man. And I was like, damn, dude, it's so interesting because that immediately, if you have any type of like social awareness for like people that grow up in the world and like, different social classes and, being born with a silver spoon or not being born with a silver spoon, you realize when you hear something like that from Grant Cardone, you realize instantly this dude grew up with a rich family immediately. And it's funny because I kind of had a similar argument with this dude a long time ago. And it's this dude I knew, he comes from an incredibly wealthy family. Like he doesn't understand. I don't think he's ever had to have a normal 9 to 5 because his parents have not parents, but like his family was just so incredibly wealthy. It's like when your parents are just that rich, it's like there's no reason. It's like if they just give you a Range Rover for your 16th birthday, you're like, why do I need to work a 9 to 5? Yeah. It's like, he was this rich. And anyways, one day I was having an argument with him. He was not argument, a discussion, and then he told me he was like 21 at the time, and he's like I have 100K cold hard cash in the bank. And he's like, if you're 21 or 22 and don't have 100K in the cash, he's like, you're a fucking loser. He's like, you ain't doing it right. And I was like, bro, do you understand? I was like, that 90% of America, or like 99% of America, won't ever have 100K liquid cash ever. You know what I mean? Like, you could be 50 years old and still not have 100K cash most situations. And you're kind of like taking your subjective experience in life and going like, oh, if other people don't have it this way, then they're losers. You know what I mean? I remember I got on this huge argument with them where I was just like, bro, you're tripping. Like, you don't understand that you grew up wealthy, and maybe to you 100K seems like nothing, but to most other people 100K is a lot of money, and having it just sitting cold hard cash where you're not touching it, that's near impossible for 99% of America. I was like, you're kind of tripping on that. And he comes, like I said, from a rich family, and when I hear Grant Cardone say something like that, I'm like, he doesn't know the value of a dollar.
No. And it's like, why are you gonna shame somebody, like people who like don't make that much money? Because I know plenty of people who work their asses off all the time, and they don't make anything close to that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, how are you gonna shame somebody who actually works hard for their money and to support their family if it's not up to your criteria, just because that's your like way of living, that's your
yeah, well, that's
so stupid.
That's one of the many, a lot of people nowadays will talk a lot of shit about capitalism, and that's definitely one of the main things that's very negative about capitalism, where people will rate their social class on money and shit like that, right? And it's kind of sucks. It's like, you should be, if you're talking to a bunch of young guys who are trying to find their way in the world, the best advice I would think, in my opinion, is like, guys, work on things that you're actually interested in, right? Try to learn and progress. Try to find things that you actually love doing, because you've heard this so many times, and it's true. It's like, if you find a job you actually enjoy,
you'll never work a day.
Yeah, like the paycheck, it's like, as long as you get to pay your bills or whatever, you're like, it's like, it doesn't even feel like you're working. You're just living. You're just like, yeah, I got to go do this thing, at the train yard that I've been doing for the last 10 years, and then I'm kicking it after. It's just a normal part of your life, because it doesn't even seem like a stress or whatever it is. It's like, you want to get to one of those positions in life where you're just happy with what you got. You know
literally,
what I mean? You're not fucking trying to make people feel bad for. And he's saying if you're making $400K a year, you should be ashamed. Which is like, you know how many people make $400K a year, dude? Not that many.
And probably a lot of people who look up to him.
Dude, I know.
Most people who look up to him, obviously, and then they're gonna hear him say that, and they're gonna feel like shit.
It's like he for sure 100%. I can already assume that dude. And here's the thing: is like rich people love doing this shit where they're just like, I grew up rough. I had to work for everything by myself. My parents didn't help me with anything. I've heard this story so many times, and you actually look behind the veil, see what's actually happening. No, they got the craziest financial support blanket of ever that anyone's ever had, and they disregard it. They think it's like not even there. It's like, no, you have it there, and you pretend like it's not there. You have it there, and you get help all the time. So I feel like Grant Cardone, with that comment, he for sure, his family has put him in positions where he makes a lot of money, and he never had to actually struggle in life. And now he's just like, well, dude, I make millions a year, it's fine. But what sucks, he's not doing those speeches or those, meetings with all those fucking guys for free. He's getting paid to do that.
Seminars, right?
He's not doing those seminars for free. He's getting paid. That's probably how he makes his money, is doing those seminars. And then like now he's gonna shit on those people. It's like, if you were really successful, you wouldn't have to do these seminars. You'd be fucking chilling in Baja, or fucking like just chilling in Hawaii or some shit like that, or running some online businesses or some shit. I don't know. You would not be doing seminars. It's like, that's in my opinion, like if your seminar is not about like drug addiction or something like that, if your seminar is about making money, you have like probably failed in all your businesses. Right?
Yeah, I'm not trusting you.
That's just my opinion.
Not trusting you.
That's usually the case, at least. I don't know. But yeah, if you read the comments of that post, at least the No Jumper post about Grant Cardone, everyone was pissed. Everyone was just like, who is this fucking asshole? I hate this guy. Blah, blah.
I agree.
But there's still going to be people who look up to him going like, yeah, that's right. That's a good mentality to have. Wait, who was I talking to the other day?
But those people are probably miserable and just greedy as fuck.
I forgot who I was talking to the other day. We were talking about making money. I think it was on Disconnected. We were talking about making money and all that stuff. And I was talking about how like you have to find this place where you're just happy in life, right? Mm-hmm. And then we were just talking about how like people just move up their fucking scale of life, and then they just put themselves in debt because they're like, oh, I could afford a mansion now. Let me just continue living in mansions. And then just like, no, what if you just lived in a house, a nice house, and then the longevity of your money lasts longer or whatever it is, I forgot the point. Why I even brought that up. Had something to do with what we were talking about. But
well, people are just focused on like the dollar amount they have in their bank account, not like how valuable their life is.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the I know this falls into the content creator sphere, but a lot of photographers and videographers I've met who don't have YouTube channels, who don't have giant social media presences, they actually have like corporate jobs where companies hire them to take photos and videos and all that stuff. And some of these people, guys that I've met, which were homies of mine, they weren't making tons of money, but they were hyped on the fact that they're like, dude, I'm going to fucking Paris tomorrow. I'm staying in a fucking hostel, but it's like, I'm going to go take photos of this thing for this company, and they're paying for the trip. And it's just like, you're not saving any money. You're not, buying yourself, a giant condo or whatever it is, but you're making a little bit of money, and you get to travel and have these experiences, which is like, that's what life's about at the end of the time, or at the end of the day, is like, oh, I got to do all these things during my life, got to travel. And
that's the prize. If you have a company paying for your flight to take pictures, that's that's the paycheck right there. You just get that whole experience.
It's funny. Yeah. I was just talking. I have these like in-laws, right? And I've heard a lot about this doctor dude who's like a part of my in-laws. And I've heard like, from my family members, he's like a very successful doctor, and he makes like a lot of money, and like they afford a very luxurious, nice, cool lifestyle and shit like that. And I've heard a lot about him, but I never got to meet him. And recently when my niece was in town, he was in town too, and I got to meet him finally. We were talking, and he was so cool, and he's just like this like really, really chill guy. And he was like asking me, he's like, what do you do for a living? And I was just like, I do live streams. I was like, I'm a live streamer. Like, I just, I do live streams on my YouTube channel. And then I was like, I'm a part of a podcast on this other YouTube channel called No Jumper. And then he was just so interested in it, dude. Like, he was like asking me, he's like, what? He's like, you're able to pay your bills like this? He's like, oh, what the hell? And he was just like asking me more and more questions. And he's like, what kind of live streams do you do? And I was telling him about the handcuff stream and the balloon idea stream and the and like a couple other my stream ideas, and he was just like so genuinely interested. Like, here comes a guy who's like incredibly successful doctor, high tier doctor, who's making tons of money, and he's like looking at me, and like I'm not financially super successful by any means, but he's looking at me going like, dude, like good job, man. Really cool. That sounds interesting and fire. And he's like, you know, it's a cool little thing that you're doing. Like, he was hyped on it.
No, he was definitely, him and his wife are definitely hella cool people. You could tell. Like, they just love kids and stuff.
And also during that conversation,
they seem supportive.
Exactly. They seem very supportive and chill, and their kids are super cool too. But during this conversation, my niece Elena was in the room, and you know, the conversation about my YouTube channel was brought up, and then they were just saying like, she's like, I can't watch his channel, it's 18 or over, or something like that. And then Elena's like, and then I'm like, yeah, you can't watch it. It's like, whatever, it's forget about it. And then she's like, I know why I can't watch your YouTube channel. And then everyone in the room is like, why, Elena? Why can't you watch Yuri's YouTube channel? And she's like, it's because he uses curse words and smokes in the house. And I was like, yes. Lelena. I was like, Lelena, that is true. And yes, you should not be watching this. But that was pretty funny. She said it's because he uses curse words and smokes in the house.
I love her. She's so funny.
Yeah.
She was like, can you please just let me be on your stream?
I know. Shout out to everyone in the chat that you know, was there during that stream. But a couple months ago, my niece, every time she sees me, she's just like, let's do a YouTube video together. And I have to keep explaining to her, I'm like, I don't do YouTube videos. Like, she thinks I'm like, you know, kids, like one of those vlog YouTubers or whatever. I'm like, no, like I do live streams and shit like that. And she keeps saying like, let me be on a live stream.
You could do a video with her though.
Yeah, that's true. But that's true, like some interesting video. But she kept asking to be on a live stream, and I was like, all right, let's do like a short 10 or 15 minute live stream with her. And I brought her onto a live stream, and a shout out to the chat, because the chat was very...
They were so sweet.
Yeah, sweet and mature and grown up and not saying anything stupid or crazy, yes.
And she loved it.
Yeah, she had a good old time.
I remember somebody was like, Rylee looks so small. And she's like, yes. I'm not Rylee. I'm his niece.
That was funny. That was funny because, you control a little kid in a way where just like it's funny. You know what I mean? Where they're just like, I'm not Rylee. Like she's getting all upset about it. That's funny. Just trolling kids.
Rylee shrunk.
No, but Elena's super smart. It's she's not one of those kids where like you can be like, yo, pass the WEED over here. She's gonna be like, that's weed. Like she's the one that hasn't happened, but she's like one of those types of kids where you can't fool her. You know, she's very attentive and observant, you know. And dude, honestly, I never really realized this, but like after, you know, having nieces and shit like that and watching them grow up and spending time with them, you know, I've always subscribed to the idea that you can learn from anyone. You know what I mean? Like you can learn things about life or wisdom from anyone. It's like, just because my niece is like 5 or 6 years old at the time doesn't mean that she hasn't already picked up on things about life that I haven't maybe noticed. You know, it could be random little things, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, from like all my nieces, like there's like just little like things about their personalities that like I just learn. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it does make me wiser at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And with like you know, with Elena, for example, she's so on top of things where I'm just like, oh, you just gotta be straight up with her.
Exactly. No, you have to just keep it real.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no beating around the bush or whatever it is.
That's Adrian. She's like literally a full-on teenager. She's like, I'm just chilling.
Really?
I just want to chill. Yeah. She's crazy like
That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the day that Adrian and Elena link up, because they're so alike. They both have so much energy, and I feel like they would become best friends.
They'll love it.
But then it would be like bittersweet, because then they're like, oh, we live on the other sides of the country from each other.
I know.
See you never. That'd be kind of fucked up. I don't know. Meet your new best friend and now say goodbye.
See you next year.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, okay. So next topic that I have here is a pretty interesting one. Apparently Twitter is banning all promotions or, you know, promotional stuff for other social media sites, including Facebook and Instagram. And I read through the thing of it, and it wasn't very detailed. Basically, Twitter tweeted out something saying basically that a little bit longer, but they didn't say detailed of what it's going to be about. So I'm wondering, does this mean like you can't tweet out links anymore?
Yeah, I feel like you're not going to be able to post like TikToks and probably like post your Instagram links or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was telling Yuriy, like I feel like Elon is just doing way too much now. Like He's trying so hard to just be a part of every like news every single fucking day. I swear.
I don't think so. I kind of do agree that he is trying to be a more part of the mix in the conversation. But I do have to say that, dude, I've talked about this before. A couple years ago, or like 4 or 5 years ago, before Elon was giving his political takes and his takes on COVID, everyone treated him as the smartest man on earth, and everyone referred to him as such. And if Phil DeFranco, if you bring up old videos of Phil DeFranco, he'd be like, smartest man on earth, Elon Musk, blah blah, or whatever, right? And it was basically after all of Elon's like political takes and like whatever, like other like opinions of his. Now people are like, the media's pushing this movement of like, this guy's the dumbest person on earth, when in fact that's clearly fucking wrong. His IQ is probably much stronger than most people's. But it's like there's this like movement of like saying Elon's an idiot and treating him as such, where I'm just like, bro, I feel like this is just like a media thing.
No, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's obviously incredibly smart, but he's just obsessed with himself.
But here's the thing: is YouTube, Instagram, and Instagram and Facebook are the same thing. But YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they're all constantly making updates to their site, and there's all constantly all these like things behind the scenes happening. But do we know the names of these people who own them? Do we know what's going on behind the scenes? It's like no one really says anything because it's not going to get any clicks. No one's going to get we're not going to click on an article or a YouTube video that says Billy Bob changes TikTok thing to not include links anymore. You're just like, okay, who cares? Whatever. You see Elon does it, you're like, Elon's fucking up, dude. What the fuck? And I'm not trying to come in defense of Elon because I really don't care, but I just feel like it is getting a more hyper analyzed, look on from everyone because it's Elon and he's,
But he's making the noise in a way. Like he's very he's always commenting on all this shit. Like he doesn't really have he doesn't care like what people think at all. So like he's always like speaking on things where other people invested on Instagram and Facebook, like they're just quiet. Like they're just not talking out loud. They're talking as Instagram as a whole. They're not talking as I'm owning this, like where Elon obviously doesn't care, like he wants to be.
And I feel like that's where he gets his strength from, because I remember what's his name, the owner of Twitter before, Jack Dorsey. Remember that name? Jack Dorsey was like the old owner. I think he was the creator of Twitter. He had done hella interviews. He was on Joe Rogan and all that stuff, and he was getting hella flack because there was all these complaints of Twitter. People were saying that it's a terrible platform. It needs to be fixed. All these, issues were going on with it. And then Jack Dorsey's answer to it was like these fucking robot answers of like beating around the bush and not giving you a clear-cut answer. And everyone was upset with it. Everyone was just like, bro, here's this fucking corporate-ass fool who's just like, not giving us anything we want. He's just trying to be politically correct and, call it a day. And with Elon, you're getting an actual person. I feel like that's the difference, where you're just like, oh, here's an actual dude who's like, nah, this is what I see. This is what we're doing. But did you see what he tweeted out recently? I think it was just today. He tweeted out a poll saying, should I continue as like head of Twitter? This does not mean he's giving up the company. This just means that he's not like CEO anymore, basically, right? He's like, should I not be head of Twitter anymore and hand it down to someone else? And he's like, I will abide by the outcome of this poll. And when I looked at the poll, most people were saying, no, he should stay as the as a CEO. But it was close. It was almost 50-50.
Because people are messy.
That's what I was thinking. People are gonna be like, nah, it's gonna be boring if this fool leaves. Like, there's gonna be nothing to talk about.
Exactly what I'm saying. But
I don't know. I still to this
also
day.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Yeah. Zuckle. It sounds like Suckle. Zuckerberg.
I was like, is it Zuckle? He has a weird last name.
Zuckle me. All right.
But he's always like in the news and shit too, so it's like.
That's true for being a fucking a lizard person, being weird and shit. Man. I don't know. There's just like this hyper analyzation of celebrities. You know what I mean? And I was like watching this little
reptile.
Yeah, reptile. I was watching this little clip of Drake earlier. He was doing some interview, and I don't listen to Drake or care about him at all. But I was just watching this random clip because it's just on Instagram, and he was just talking about that too, where he's like, I just make music. He's like, I'm just so popular at this point that he's like, the more popular you get, the more divisive the opinions become. And he's like, I'm just found in this position where I got hella people who hate me for no reason, and there's nothing I could do to change their opinions or anything like that. He's like, I'm just so popular that my haters will grow exponentially, you know what I mean, with depending on how many supporters I have.
Okay, flex.
And he just like, and he was basically talking about where I was like thinking about him, like, Imagine that, like, imagine, yeah, if you just want to make music or you just want to be successful, but then it comes with this, like, this social, you know, fucking thing as well, where you want to be, as a person, you want to be good to your friends and family. You want to be fair and good to your friends and family and people you meet. But now that you're a social media celebrity like Drake, I guess, or Elon, now you have to be not only a good person to your friends and family, but the world has to look at you as a good person, and then you have to battle with that. And then at a certain point, you're like, why do I care if they think if I'm a bad person? It's like, I'm a good person to my friends and family. I'm not terrible. They just think I'm skewed because Phil DeFranco's saying it every weekend. It's like, I don't care.
It's a parasocial relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Everybody thinks they know you.
And I've that's happened to me many times.
Fuck yeah.
With Adam, you know what I mean? Like, I always had enough self-awareness to not be like one of those crazy fans, but you know, when I first met Adam, it's just like, to me, I'm like, I watch every single one of your daily vlogs. I feel like I know what you did yesterday. I know what you did 2 days ago. I know what you did last week. I know the drama that you just went through. I know all the stuff that's going on. I'm just a random person to you, but to me, I know everything about you. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, yeah, people will come up and be like, "What's up, Adam? Oh, what about Yuriy? Huh?" And you're just like, "Who are you? What's going on? What do you mean? What about Yuriy?" You're just like, "What the fuck?" It's so random, you know. But that's happened to me before.
Yeah.
With meeting people, and you're like, I know everything about you, but you don't know anything about me.
Seriously, dude. No, it happens to everybody. That's the thing about social media.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a cool thing, but it's also like a scary thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what I was thinking about the other day too is in skateboarding. You know, people have talked about this, how back in the day during the 90s and 2000s, it was kind of a thing for skateboarders to be dickheads, and I could kind of say that it is true. Like my old skate groups back in the day, it's like, it was kind of thought as to be cool to be the dickhead skater who doesn't take no shit and he's just like an asshole to everyone unless you're cool with him, you know, or whatever it is. And I kind of was thinking about celebrities back in the day. Back in the day, a celebrity, you would think of a celebrity as the person who's just like, this fucking coffee is way too cold. Pff, get this shit out of my face. Give me a fresh chocolate. You're fired. You're never working in Hollywood again. Give me a new person. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. And then like celebrities are always like these kind of like crazy dickhead diva people. And then now celebrities, if you're a crazy dickhead diva, you're getting canceled on Twitter. They're going to be like, I was Elon Musk's coffee man, and he slapped me and told me my coffee was cold and said I'll never get a job in Hollywood again. And then boom, that goes viral.
You're done.
But back in the day, it's like that probably happened to so many people, and you just go home like, fuck, dude. They threw coffee in my face and they said I'm never working in Hollywood again. What can I do about this?
Literally.
That's kind of crazy. Shit flips.
I need to pee.
Oh my god, I knew this was coming. All right, Riley's gonna go take a piss break, or a pee break. Sorry, maybe I'll get us demonetized. I will open up the chat and we'll take a quick little chat break and see what you guys are up to. Get me a new coffee. Someone said Elon is kind of handsome. Oh really? There's photos of Elon before his like hair transplant thing, and you know he looked like a regular old computer man who had a balding giant middle spot and the hair going all around the circumference of his hair basically. He's changed drastically. Yuriy ugly. Closed chat during stream. I know during the chat we try to keep it closed, but while Rylee uses the bathroom, I don't want to get into any topics without her here, so I'd rather just bring it up. Someone said Lola a real one. Lola, did you hear that? Lola, they said you're a real one. She does not care. She just looked at me. FMJ said I said fugly. Okay, I'm fugly. Elon cloned himself already. Well, how many kids does Elon have? I think he was in the news recently for having like 11 or 12 kids because he's worried about population collapse or some shit like that. Elon Musk was mean to me. I'm sorry, cool cat. I'm sorry to hear that. You're eating chicken every day now that he got Vell's recipe. I don't have Vell's recipe. Actually, no, I do. It's on stream. I just have to rewatch the Vell's recipe is 3 ingredients, guys. It's just those 3 ingredients that I used yesterday. I don't know if there's any secrets involved, but that's all he told. Maybe Vell kept his own home recipe secret and he just told me some surface level shit. He didn't put the secret ones in. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think potentially Vell just gave me some normal fried chicken recipe. He probably has a secret one at home. Elon's not a computer man. He's not a programmer, engineer, scientist, inventor, nothing. Someone said he's absolutely nothing. Interesting. Is he just like an investor? Is he just like a good investor, company creator? Yeah, probably clutch. Just aim. Okay, all right, guys. Shout out to the chat. We're getting right back to the podcast. How was your bathroom break?
Great.
Exhilarating?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
We forgot to talk about what you did on Friday.
What did I do on Friday?
Your Discord stream.
Oh, my God.
That happened.
Okay, so I haven't done this idea in a while. But back in the day, if you guys remember, I've done this, a couple times a long time ago where I would do a Discord calls, and it would be titled interviewing the chat stream, or the viewer stream, because I see you guys comment in the chat every time we go live, but a lot of you guys, like, I can't put a face to it. I don't know what you guys sound like, or I don't know anything about you really. So I feel like it would be interesting to bring some people who are are down enough to, or willing to put their face on camera to come on stream and just like talk to them. So I've done it before. I thought I'd do it again, and it was going pretty well. We had some pretty good conversations going, and I apologize to anyone I did not get to, because we had a lot of people. We had like 20 people at one point in the Discord, and I think I only talked to like 5 or 6 people. But at a certain point, someone whipped their dick out and was like flopping it around. And I was like, oh great, here we go. And then I just had to fucking end the stream and then delete it instantly. And that shit really sucks, because I would want to be able to download that stream to at least make an edit out of all the funny parts, just cut out the dick part, but but no, I can't. It's like, once that happens, you need to delete it instantly. So I wasn't recording. Since I wasn't recording, I would not have time to fucking download the link, because it would have to process, take an hour or two. By that time, my channel could get in trouble. So I just had to fucking delete it as fast as possible, and it kind of just like kills the stream. But
what were people talking to you about?
I don't remember. I was really drunk.
You were so done.
Can I give you guys a
I felt like I had just laid down, and like 20 minutes later, like, you came into the room, and I was like, what happened? And you're like, somebody just whipped their dick out.
Really?
I had to end the stream.
Oh yes. My God. All right, here, let me explain to you guys what happened that night. So I did that Discord stream. Someone whipped their dick out. I ended the stream, restarted a new one, and then me and the chat were having a good old time hanging out. That night I took 6 Jello shots, and I believe 4 or 5 real shots. So I was incredibly drunk, and I feel like the Jello shots take a little bit longer to process, and I felt like I was just getting drunker and drunker as I was sitting there, even though I was not drinking alcohol anymore. And at a certain point during the second stream, I was like, guys, I'm way too drunk. I'm hopping off. And then I ended that stream. I hopped right into the Discord, and shout out to everyone that's in the Discord. I'm going to be there daily from now on. I said that last time, but now I really am. I have been for the past 3-4 days. But either way, so I hopped right onto the Discord, and I wrote a message in the chat. If you guys ever wonder what's going on, go straight to the Discord, because I'll be leaving my updates in there. But I basically went to the Discord, and I was like, guys, I was way too drunk to stay on stream. I had to end it. And then I ended the stream. And then I looked at the Discord voice chat, and it had like 10 people in there. It had Quoted LA was in there, and I don't think he had his mic on. He was just printing shirts the whole time. Quoted LA was in there. Sloppy Poppy was in there. Jazzy was in there. Hella people were in there.
Nobody was beefing though.
No, yeah, it was a chill, good conversation. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Good.
And basically I was like, fuck it. I saw so many people in the Discord call. I was like, fuck it. I'm joining this Discord call. I joined the Discord call. I think before I had walked beans, and then I came back, and then I joined that Discord call, and we're all talking. We talked about a lot of stuff, like questions that we all have about the chat and all this different stuff, and it was pretty interesting and insightful. And I feel like I don't remember a lot of the answers, and it wasn't recorded or anything either. So shit, we might have to ask those questions again. But that Discord call is going well. And then at a certain point in the Discord call, I was like, guys, I gotta get off. I feel really sick right now. And I ended the Discord call, went straight to the bathroom. And I just started fucking throwing up for hella long. It was just like, it was probably longer than
Jello shots,
than 10 minutes. But it was continuous. We had just eaten a hamburger and fries, and I felt every little fucking piece come out. And it was so gross, bro. Like I threw a
piece of beef.
Yes, the buns and everything. It all came out, and then I came out of the bathroom. I went to the bed, and then once you get too drunk, laying down just sucks. The room starts spinning and shit, so like I tried to lay down, I was like, oh god, I can't. And I stood up, went to our bathroom, started throwing up in the other bathroom for a little bit, and then I remember. At that point, I don't remember what the fuck happened. I woke up though in the bed, so apparently I went to sleep. But yeah, it was a terrible night. I got way too drunk.
Lord.
Those Jello shots, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, no, those were too sweet.
And they're gross, dude. It's like
it was too much.
There's no way to just like chomp it down. You have to slurp it out, and the slurp.
The noise was hilarious.
And slurping vodka is gross. It's like no one wants to slurp the taste of isopropyl alcohol. It's like that's basically what it is. And yeah, it was not fucking good. But that was a terrible night. But shout out to the Discord. It was fun at the end of the day.
That was funny.
Speaking of weed though, does anyone remember who Doggface is? Mr. Cranberry Juice Man.
What was the song? Morissette.
Fuck, what was the band name? I forgot.
Why can't I think of it now?
It starts with the F.
Fleetwood Mac.
There you go, Fleetwood Mac. It was a Fleetwood Mac song. Anyways, Doggface, went viral for the Fleetwood Mac song, all that stuff. Recently, he was arrested. The title says Doggface arrested for weed and gun possession, right? You open up the article, you read it, and it says that he had no flour on him. He had 3 weed gummies, either 3 weed gummies or 3 packets of weed gummies. So 3 packets of weed gummies, and then also they said that one of the pieces of evidence they included was a dabber with resin on it. So when you take a dab, the dab slips off, but there's always a little tiny piece that remains on the dabber. They charged them for a dabber with resin on it as paraphernalia with fucking weed resin on it. And then also while they were searching him, they found a gun, and then they're like, yo, you got a felony, dude. We have to arrest you for this. And he's like, what are you talking about? I have a felony. He's like, I don't have a felony. He's like, I'm able to have this gun legally, and it's like a legal gun possession. He's like, no. He's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. They're like, nope, we gotta arrest you. And they arrested him, took him into jail for like 6 hours, he said. And then at the end of the 6 hours, he said that the cops came back into his cell and told him, hey man, sorry dude, big mistake. You don't have a felony, and you're just being charged with weed. And then he was like, oh great. And then he was able to bond out. But isn't that kind of crazy? That happens all...
I think that's so insane. I didn't know they were that serious.
With what, weed?
Yeah.
Well, no, I bet you they aren't. I bet you it's the fact that...
he had the gun?
It's the fact that they thought he was probably, based on like how he looked, they probably thought he was like some sort of gangbanger, and he had a gun. They probably just thought like, oh, we could charge him with all this crazy shit. They realized they were in the wrong, and they're like, how do we make this arrest justified? You know what I mean? Because we can't say, hey, we arrested you for no reason. They're gonna be like, let's just charge him for the weed gummies, so that we can say we arrested him for that. I'm sure it's really not that crazy, but that's unfortunately how the fucking cops work sometimes. I've been lucky enough not to deal with that type of shit, but I've heard of shit like that happening where the cops can just they could probably know that you're not a felon, and they just like, they're thinking in the back of their heads like, this guy's up to no good, let me just arrest him and I'll find something eventually.
That's so sad.
And then once they realize they find nothing, they're like, hey man, sorry dude, you got a weed charge, head on out or whatever it is. And it's like, you just wasted 6 hours of my day. I had to sit in here, do nothing. It's like now
uncomfortable.
Now there's a TMZ article that says I'm arrested for a gun. It's like, thanks a lot for that. It's like, it just ruins all the shit, and the cops get no repercussions, or they don't have to face any.
Well, hopefully you could sue them for.
Honestly, I feel like police stations should have like a star rating.
I'm pretty sure he said that the cop didn't read his rights.
Oh yeah, and he said he didn't get his rights read to him, which is they have to do that. But I feel like police stations should have like a rating system where every time they do a successful bust where someone gets arrested for a justified crime or whatever it is, they get a 10 out of 10 stars, but every time they do something like that, they get like 6 or 6 or 5 out of 10. And the next thing you look at these police stations and you're like, ah yes, this one in this area has a 3 out of 10 stars, which shows that they're very fucked up and corrupt, and let me avoid that area. And then this police station has 10 out of 10 stars, like whatever it is. I don't know, I feel that'll be interesting.
Cop Yelp.
Yeah, like some sort of police Yelp, but it goes based off like how successful their busts are and how justified they are, I guess. And then also, speaking of weed edibles, dude, I've been wanting kind of to talk about this because literally for the past 2 weeks, every Disconnected, we're like looking at Instagram trying to find topics to talk about, and like 2 weeks ago, I saw this post saying I think about 8 to 10 kids in a California high school all were sent to the hospital for overdosing off weed edibles. And that was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? That's like half a classroom basically, almost, or a third of a classroom getting sent to the hospital because of weed edibles. That shows how many fucking kids are, fucking around with that shit. But then also, a week later for the next disconnect that we didn't talk about it, but I saw another post saying another high school had like 5 or 6 kids overdose from weed edibles. And I was like, what the fuck?
How is this happening?
I was like, what is going on here? And then still we didn't talk about it. And then today, before 10 Talks, I was going through Instagram and I see another post, shout out to You Ain't Heartful, about a kid who jumped out of his like high school window because he was having a panic attack off of weed edibles. And this brings up a really good conversation, which I've talked about this a long time ago during 10 Talks, where if you are getting into weed stuff, and I know we probably don't have any high school kids or, middle school kids in here watching, hopefully not, but if you guys like are getting into that, weed stuff or whatever it is, edibles and cartridges are the riskiest things because, like, number one, if you are buying actual flower or weed from someone and I show you the weed, or you look at the weed through the packaging and it looks like some normal nice weed, you're like, okay, I'll buy this stuff. But if they give you some weed that looks super stemmy and like dry and like it has like mushrooms growing on it, you're like, what the fuck? You're like, what's going on here? Like, no, I'm not. You would think like, I'm not gonna smoke this, like I'm not gonna pay for this. But there are a lot of these people, there are a lot of shady weed guys out there. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar business, so there's a lot of money to be made, and there's a lot of people who will invest a lot of money into growing a huge crop of weed to do something with it, either sell it as flour or make edibles out of it or something, and then something can go wrong with that crop of edibles where they get, crop of weed where they get spiders or like some type of infection or fungus or whatever it is. And there are shady business people who will look at that 50 pounds of weed and like, damn, should we take a $20,000 loss right now? Or should we take all this weed and process it and make cartridges out of it? And then we'll sell the cartridges for $50. And no one knows what weed was used to make this cartridge. They just see, 99% THC content. They're like, fuck yeah, let's go. $10, like, or $20. I'll buy that shit. And same thing applies to weed gummies, weed edibles, like brownies, cookies, all that stuff is like, if you have to trust the person who made it, you have to know where it came from, because there are like I said, shady people who will have infected ass weed, dirty, disgusting, moldy weed, and they do not want to lose the money on it, so they will just be like, dude, turn this into brownies, turn this into cookies, turn these into gummy bears, and we'll make our money back. And the next thing you know, you have kids in high school who are buying this shit because it's the cheapest thing you can get, and then they're all fucking overdosing, or they're getting some sort of negative effects because it's has parasites on it or like other strange chemicals. I don't know, that shit's just dangerous. I think
that's probably why people always say like whenever they take edibles, like they get hella nauseous or
also number one,
throw up. I hear that all the time.
I saw Joe Rogan talk about this a long time ago with this one dude who's like a weed expert or something like that, and he said that when you smoke weed, it affects you a certain way, right? But when you eat weed, your stomach digests it, and it turns THC into a different chemical that is basically like 8 times stronger than THC. So whenever you eat weed, by the time it digests and everything, it's like it really fucking hits you. It's like a whole nother ball game apparently. And it's like, I guess since we have giant tolerances, we don't really notice this. But imagine for a fucking 15-year-old kid who gets handed a 100 milligram brownie, and he's just like, here we go, let's eat this thing. And he goes on a shroom trip, and he's like, bro, what the fuck is happening right now? So,
but do you think they're putting other things in it? Like, how are they overdosing on weed?
That's the question.
That's what they're saying, right?
That's the thing, is like, I didn't see anything written in it like about like what's the definition of overdosing off weed? What does that mean exactly? It's like, does that just mean that the effects are so strong, it's overwhelming, that you just become sick? I think that might be the definition of overdose. I don't think
there's a way that could happen.
And that's what people say. There's no way to overdose off weed. But if you're eating edibles, it's like it can have almost like a shroom type effect on you, where you feel like you're going to, go insane or get sick. Or not even, I don't know.
We need to look up more information on that.
Dude, when I was in high school, edibles were not, or cartridges weren't around yet, because the G Pen came out in 2011, 2012, towards the end of my high school career. But during high school, edibles were not that popular. Yeah, you could get them from
people would make them.
Yeah, people would make them. You can get them from a shop, and I made them with my homies before and stuff like that. But most of the time, everyone who's just like, hey man, I've never smoked weed before, Yuri, can I buy some weed? They're always trying to buy flour. Everyone's trying to get flour. So I feel like nowadays people just see gummies and they're just like, hell yeah, let's go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then also, this is something that a lot of like cigarette companies and weed companies have been called out for, and I think there's been laws made against this shit, but it's their packaging. Their packaging will be like tutti frutti blueberry flavored, awesome gummies, and it's just like you see this as a 16-year-old and you're like, I buy shit like this all the time. Let me get this one. You know what I mean? With weed in it this time. It's like, it's so attractive to kids because it's like that type of advertising, But yeah, there's
it's
like
all sparkly and stuff.
Exactly. I swear, I saw articles talking about how they were implementing rules against, sparkly, nice, attractive packaging, and then basically all the weed packaging we see nowadays is like very attractive to
no, that's the law in Canada.
Yeah, that's in Canada, but I saw they were implementing it here in the United States as well. Oh. I'm not sure, but Canada's is extreme. That one's like hella extreme. I think Russia kind of has that as well, where Russia has the same type of packaging for cigarettes. You said Mexico, right? Mexico has that as well.
I don't know if Mexico has it.
Oh, really?
I
don't know if that's good or not.
To make it boring?
Well, to make it like unattractive, it's like just make better tobacco, right? I don't know, just don't put chemicals in the tobacco.
I think they don't either.
Because that's what I've seen is like I've seen people talk about how if you just smoke tobacco just normally the way people used to, it's really not that bad for you. But then also the cigarettes people buy and the tobacco people buy, it has like 30 chemicals mixed in it to make it more addictive and not expire and not get fungus growing on it. It has all these preservatives in it, and like when you smoke that's the cancerous shit. But you know what's crazy? I forgot where I saw this, but I saw this statistic the other day talking about how 16% of cigarette smokers get some sort of cancer, lung cancer, tongue cancer, some shit like that, right? I forgot what the percentage was, but dude, more than 50% of people who eat processed foods get cancer. I
know.
And there's the statistics of people who get cancer is getting higher and higher and higher. And I remember one of my teachers, or like my teachers brought in this lady one time during our class in like elementary or middle school, and this teacher told us, she's like, 1 out of 5 of you guys is gonna die of cancer.
Oh my god!
It was like some fucked up shit like that, where we were like looking around like, damn, hope it's not me, like but it, I saw some statistics talking about how like way more people die from eating processed meats and processed foods compared to smoking or compared to dying of cigarettes. Like people portray cigarettes as so dangerous, but no one talks about the dangers of like what we eat on a daily basis, which is like, it's so hard to break out of that cycle. You go to a 7-Eleven. What does a 7-Eleven have? It's all sugar. It's all not just sugar, but on a daily.
People do talk about it. People just don't care.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's kind of crazy, like, dude, on a daily basis, like, a man should have about 100, or, like, I think less, or about 100 grams of sugar a day. You go to a 7-Eleven, and a Snickers has 70 grams, or a Red Bull or Coca-Cola has, 70, and then a little cookie has, fucking 40, and next thing you know, it's just like, bro, you've consumed 500 grams of sugar in one day, and everyone's doing this on a daily basis. Like, that's the insane part.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shit. Honestly, I would be willing to implement some sort of social experiment, not social experiments, but self-experiments in my streams, where I'm just like, hey guys, day 1 of streaming, and it's not a continuous stream, I'll just be like, I'll do updates on how I feel, and it'll be interesting if I do like streams where I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing a week with no sugar. Let's see how I do.
Yeah, you should do that.
No sugar at all. But does that mean no fruits or like no processed sugar?
Yeah, you could do no processed sugar.
Because that's the thing, is like even sugar is processed, salt is processed. Like we can buy natural sea salt that's just dried, on a rock or something like that. But that's more expensive. It's so hard to be healthy.
It's expensive.
Yeah, but you know why it's expensive is because we want to have these like natural things in the city. It's like if you want to live this natural life and be healthy, you don't live in a city. You gotta go live in the countryside and do this off the land, and it becomes way less expensive. And you sacrifice convenience for actually doing it yourself. You know what I mean? You're like, I'll milk my own cow, make my own cheese,
milk my own almonds.
No, no, dude. I've seen videos about the process of making almonds. That shit's toxic as fuck.
Almond milk.
That shit's hella bad.
Process of making almonds.
Getting almonds out of their thing, because almonds grow on these like fruits, and the whole fruit is like poisonous or some shit. And dude, I saw this video. I think we talked about this, right? Where they're like. They went to this like almond farm, and they were, or is it cashews? It might have been cashews. I forgot. There's like a nut or a peanut. I think it might be cashews actually. I might be tripping.
I think it was cashews.
I think it was cashews. But it's like it comes on a fruit, And in the video I was watching, they were depicting it so lighthearted, but they were like this family business in like, I forgot what country it was, but they're like, this family business in this country, processes these cashews by themselves, and they have all the kids helping, and they're like, the kids have to wear gloves because the peels of the thing is actually very toxic and bad for you, and you should not be touching it. And like, they just have basically child labor of these kids working on these toxic chemicals, and they're just like portraying it in such a chill light, where they're just like, fire family business doing a good job. But you're like, bro, if you take that to America, it would not stand up to any of our regulations of safety and health, like it would break every single one of the rules, and they're portraying it as like some cool fire thing. You're like, no, dude, that kid's gonna get finger cancer after 5 years of processing these cashews or whatever it is.
That's
but
their way of living, though.
What is Lola doing on my neck right now? She's like pressing up against me.
She's nudging.
Is that her butt?
Mm-hmm.
She's
not whole.
She's really pressing her butt against my neck right now, like the back of my neck.
It's not really her butt.
It is, if that's what it feels like. What are you doing back there, Lola? All right, either way. Wait, actually, I have a couple things to announce. Number one is last night, I went to a nearby liquor store to go grab some more bottles of liquor for, last night when Vell and I and Rylee and Brittany were just frying that chicken. And and fucking when I went over there, I've gone to this liquor store once before, and when I went over there, as soon as I come in, they're blasting like really loud this like Indian like trap music, where it's like trappy type beats, but it's all like sung or rapped in Indian. And I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. I was like walking around, and I grabbed like some chasers. I go up to the dude, and I'm like, yo, let me grab a Tito's bottle and a bottle of that Don Julio. He's like, 1 second. He calls over this other dude from the back. He's like, says something in Indian. He's like, hey, go get him the cold bottles. And then I was like, whoa. I was like, you guys got cold bottles? Like, I've seen that a couple times where we go to liquor stores and they have the bottles
fridge
actually refrigerated, which is so clutch. You know what I mean? Like, you should always be doing that, I feel like, as a liquor store owner. A lot of people don't do that, though. And when I saw he did that, I was like, not only did he had all the bottles refrigerated.
That's fire.
I was like, yo, that's fire. I was like, thank you so much. I was like, that's clutch. And then me and him were chopping it up a little bit. We were talking. He just seemed so cool and like just kind of like hip to just whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he was not like a snobby businessman. He just seemed like very chill guy. And I was like, yo, dude. Oh no. What happened was, I was telling him, I was like, yo, dude, I go to this other liquor store a couple blocks away. I was like, but they're closed right now, so I came here. And he's like, that liquor store? He's like, don't go there. He's like, come here. Only come to my liquor store from now on. He's like, come here during the day too. He's like, I got you, whatever. I was like, all right, fire. And then I was like, are you into promoting your business? Like, you want to get some advertisement or some shit like that? He's like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, dude, I do live streams where I have like 500 to 1,000 people sometimes watching. I was like, can I come in here and work for you for like 5 or 6 hours and live stream me working? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, I'm down. He's like, come on and we'll talk about it. And I was like, fire, thank you, man. So
I think that'll be hilarious.
So potentially this week or next week, I will be doing a streaming with working at a liquor store.
Seeing all the interesting people that come in.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that would be really fun. A lot of people that go into liquor stores are like chill, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be like a diverse group of people.
Wait, I'm glad I just remembered this, because I did not want to end this podcast without bringing this up. But guys, for anyone that lives in the Los Angeles area, it's not exactly confirmed where we're going to do this yet, but Big Chief hit me up saying, hey man, he's like, I have this idea for a stream / contest / giveaway where he wants to host a beanbag race where people will, put on these giant beanbag sacks, and it's like they hop race or whatever it is. So he wants to host some sort of event where it's like a bunch of beanbag races, and it's happening this Tuesday at 3 p.m. I will be streaming it. I will be there. And not only that, but he said that there's going to be like multiple races, and there will be gifts and prizes handed out from Big Chief. He said he's supplying everything, so you can only imagine. And
what it's going to be.
They give the craziest care packages, I could tell you from firsthand experience. It's never just a couple items. Really it's it's always a bunch of cool ass shit.
Good quality shit.
Exactly. So guys, for anyone that wants to be a part of this, anyone is invited. The more information will be available on the Big Chief Instagram, which I believe is like Big Chief Concentrates. You can find it like from my Instagram, or like seeing who I follow, or like AD or something like that. And then also so this Tuesday 3 p.m. beanbag race at undisclosed park yet. It's not non-confirmed park yet, and prizes will be given out.
We are going to be not here this weekend, so we're probably gonna have to try to pre-record.
Not try. We have to.
We're gonna have to.
Because
we might have to on Tuesday.
So
the best day.
So this Sunday, we will be out of town. We're gonna be visiting Riley's family for the holidays, and we will have to pre-record 10 Talks. But while I'm out there, I want to stream. I want to do some streams out there, and also hopefully
meet up with somebody special.
Yeah, hopefully Fulcrum will be out there. And we'll be able to meet up with him. But I heard he's out here right now.
Really?
Yes.
Well, maybe he'll be back for the holidays.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I'm gonna hit him up and see if we can meet up with him, do some sort of stream, or maybe even like a podcast or something like that. But yes, we will be pre-recording the next episode of 10 Talks for sure. But if not, I'm bringing the podcast equipment with me, just in case. So we could just crunch it out at some point. Or even if I meet a Fulcrum, I'm like, yo, let's do a surprise Harmonious hour right now.
Yeah.
On the beach or some shit. Pause.
I agree. On the beach.
But
on
either
the
way.
farm.
Yes, on the farm. So yes, this Tuesday, 3 p.m., Big Chief beanbag race giveaway. We're going to the Bay Area this weekend. And then also, we're approaching the very last days of this year, which is crazy.
And approaching the 100th episode.
Yes, also approaching the 100th episode, which, yes, we're on episode 98. We didn't even announce that in the beginning. Welcome to episode 98 of 10 Talks.
We always do that.
Towards the end. But, yes, dude, yeah, we're almost at episode 100. We have to
It's going to be on the first.
We have to invite people over and go crazy. Like, it should not be a normal episode. I feel like for episode 100, we should invite as many people as possible.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, like a Royal Rumble. Just like invite as many people as possible. Extend bring as many seats here. Put as many mics here as possible. Bring some balloons, and then just like be like, yo, episode 100 of 10 Talks, come through. That would be cool.
Let's do it.
Let's invite everyone. That would be sick as hell. I'm really excited for that. But either way, I think that covers all the topics that we want to talk about. But we will be getting into an after show in literally like about 1 to 2 minutes. So, guys, number one, shout out to every single person who supports and watches 10 Talks. We appreciate you guys so much.
We love you.
Yes, thank you for joining another episode of 10 Talks. If you guys can, please leave a like. It really helps grow the channel.
Leave a comment.
Anything you want, guys. You don't underestimate the power of a comment, because
Mark Zuckerberg.
Even with the comments saying W or Mark Zuckerberg or Zuckle me or something, something. Yeah, right. Zuckle or something along the lines of Zuckle. But just leave some sort of random comment. It really helps grow the channel. And then also do not forget to subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. But either way, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in a minute or two for the